Episode 19 of the Nancy Drew Show was okay, I would say. I think it's more predictable than anything else. That's why I thought. I could see most of the storylines coming from a mile away. I think if you check my previous videos and just read the comments on those videos, you'll see lots of other people predicted what was going to happen too. Basically, it's the fallout from learning that Nancy Drew's father is Ryan Hudson. And I feel kind of bad because I really liked Carson Drew. He's like one of my top favorite characters. And now it seems like he doesn't have much of a role. We've gone back to the start of the show where Nancy really hated her dad and fought with him all the time. And that was basically this episode. It was just her dumping on Carson Drew. And at the end, there was this tense moment where she was like, "Go away. You're not needed here." And he just walks away sadly. And it makes me kind of sad. I don't know what they're going to do with Carson next. It feels like his role in the story is gone because he's not really Nancy's father, and there it goes. He lost his connection to all of the other cast members now. Poor Carson. So, a fallout from this is that Nancy, the Aglefumph monster is back. The monster that they used to get Dead Lucy's bones. So the monster's back and is attacking everybody. That was gross. It would attack them like Owen had fish hooks on his arm, and that was gross and made me flinch. Yeah. So they need to get rid of the Aglefumph monster again. So the storyline is that they need to have a blood relative do a ritual over a fire. And I kind of rolled my eyes a little when I heard that because I knew 100% where the story was going with it. That's why I would say this episode is predictable. Blood relative, well, that means Nancy's going to have to use Ryan Hudson, her real dad, which means the truth is going to come out. And that was basically this episode. It was basically Nancy doing a really terrible job of covering up the secret of who her father is. And so she hangs out with Ryan Hudson, and Ryan apparently graduated to become a super genius now because he figures out the mystery like that. He figures out, oh my gosh, Lucy was pregnant based off like 3 sentences in her diary, and figures out where she could have gone, figured out who the doctor is. And then when he sees the locket, Nancy drops the locket, he sees Nancy's baby picture, he makes the connection that Nancy is his daughter. So that must be where Nancy got her great detective skills from. Ryan just was an awesome detective in this episode. It was amazing. But most of the episode was, Nancy with Ryan, and then just getting really mad at Ryan because he's just a spoiled, rich, terrible person. And, her trying to get in the way of his investigation. So, the rest of the episode, Nancy getting mad at Carson. And then best drama. I'm still not sure where this best drama is coming from. It's her having problems with all of her family members. I don't think we've seen them before. We've seen the aunt, right? That's the only one of her rich family members we've seen before. I was thinking to myself, maybe this is what the Veronica Lodge storyline is in the Riverdale show. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they're trying to go with, because otherwise I just can't place where the story is coming from, because it's just Bess hanging out with a bunch of, rich people we've never seen before, and they're mean and snipey, and it seems like that would be a fantastic scenario for Bess, just making kind of mean jokes, but she's very sad and worried. Maybe George would thrive more in this, dog-eat-dog world. So at the end of the episode, the big cliffhanger is that Owen Marvin is dead. They find him just covered in blood in a bathtub, and that was gross. That was gross too. And also, I would say predictable. It seems mean to say that, but it's like, well, guess what? Nancy just solved both murder mysteries. Now she needs another murder mystery to solve. So the question is going to be, which one of Bess's evil relatives did it? Because I imagine one of them is the culprit because he was killed at the Marvin party. It could be that the Aglefumph monster attacked and killed Owen, but probably not, because Another end of episode cliffhanger is that the Glaika monster was not appeased. It turns out they cast the banishing spell for this deadly sea monster, but it was the wrong banishing spell. They actually needed to cast the sea monster banishing spell for sea monsters that used to be human. That seemed like kind of a silly excuse. It's like, come on, just banish the sea monster already. But no, it makes sense. They've had trouble banishing monsters before in this series, so like that one dragon monster, Nathan, or whatever that monster was. That monster took a couple of episodes to get rid of as well, I believe. So, was Owen killed by the monster, and then is Bess going to be the prime suspect for the murder mystery? Maybe we'll see where it goes. But overall, I'd say this episode was sort of predictable. Everybody figures out the Nancy paternity secret, really quickly. They did not waste a lot of time on that. And Nancy's just angry all the time, and Ryan Hudson is really, really angry at her, too, and Nancy just wants to move away, but now she can't because she's stuck in a murder mystery, sort of like she was at the start of the series. So, I don't know what's going to happen next, because the series was interrupted by the coronavirus quarantine. So due to that, they had to stop filming like a month or two early. They were scheduled to keep filming until like April 21st is what Wikipedia tells me. And so they stopped sometime in March. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Are they just gonna stop on like an episode that's not a finale? Are they gonna try to change it so it's a finale? Some people said it would be awesome if they did like a quarantine episode. That could be possible. I think that would be really difficult, but that would also be a great creative challenge to have an episode where none of the characters are in the room with each other, or like two at most, or, Nancy has to solve a mystery while she's trapped in one place. That's sort of what happened in the video game number 25, Nancy Drew, Alibi in Ashes. But, yeah, so I haven't seen any official announcements of how many episodes they have left. Clearly they finished some episodes, but they weren't able to finish all of them. So, that's it. It looks like next episode's just going to be more monster stuff, sort of like this episode was, except probably a bit more, and a little less on the personal drama, or they could ramp up the whole Owen Marvin getting killed mystery and go into more detail about Bess's family members. That could be interesting too. So that could be another direction I think the show is going to go. So overall, I said this episode was predictable, and I'm not trying to be mean, but the last 3 episodes obviously were fantastic with plot twists and huge surprises, and this one feels more like just a standard episode, return to form, I guess, after that big excitement. It really did feel like those last 3 episodes were supposed to be the season finale. So this one feels more like, okay, we're starting a new mystery, kind of going back into our normal groove after things got really shaken up a bit. Okay, bye.